Hiya, welcome back to the channel. This week, I am so excited to dive into the topic of profile auditing with you guys. There is a lot in the sense of auditing, whether you are just starting out with your social media efforts or you are revitalizing your social media efforts. It is so important to audit not only your profile, but your SEO standings and your content as well. So let's jump over to the computer and walk you through it. Auditing your social media is so important because it really is the key to finding your clients, right? Social media is got two main purposes, and it is to gain visibility and build trust with either your audience or community, whichever one it is that you're building. So let's focus on visibility first. One main thing about social media is that it is there to boost your visibility and awareness to help bring people into your business, your community, whatever that looks like for you. So whether you're bringing them into your newsletter, whether you're bringing them into your blog, or bringing them straight into your services, it is so important to be able to have a social media account that is working well and is helping you be able to gain visibility. So in the next video, we're going to be talking about optimizations and the ways that you can tap into the profile's SEO capabilities. But for this video, we're just going to be talking about auditing and where you can go to look for what's working and what's not. The other main thing about social media is that you really want to be able to build trust. So that is why it's so important to be able to put things together like this video where you're giving value away to your ideal client that can help them be able to solve their pain points and get some quick actionable wins on their side. It can build so much trust with your audience or community, and really it can help establish you as the authority in your industry. I know for me, I love being able to talk through social media strategy and being able to give people the pieces to the puzzle that they need to be successful in social media. I will talk about the concepts of social media strategy all day long with anybody. But at the end of the day, if you want the true value that it is working with me, that's coming into my digital products, that's coming into my services and my programs, and being able to work one-on-one with me and get my insights on things like content series, production flow, and how to really make things as smooth as possible and be repurposing and getting as much content out there for your audience. So there are some really important things to be looking at if you are just getting into social media and you are starting your profile from scratch. So the first thing is you want to make sure that your username is not only recognizable and easy to search, but that they're matching across all of your platforms. So if you are a business, the business title should really be your username. If you're an influencer, it's a little bit different. You can get away with having something a little more unique. If you are a business or a professional service category, you really should have it be either your business name or your personal name or your service or something along those lines. Your profile photo should be a clear professional image that represents your brand, whether it be a logo, whether it be your headshot, as long as it matches across all platforms so that you are able to really have that congruity and people can be able to go, oh, this is the same person because I recognize the profile photo as one that I've seen before on a different platform. Two-way factor authentication. This is so important to set up. Even if you already have a profile in place, if you do not have two-factor authentication set up, I highly recommend you pause this video and go over into your settings and set it up for all of your platforms. This will really help if anyone tries to hack into your account and steal it or take it. It can be very helpful because they'll need a code that can only be generated to your phone. It will stop anybody from being able to get in or be able to change the information in the account and lock you out of the account. So make sure that you turn that on. It is such an important thing. It's one of the first things I go over with my clients. Make sure that it's on their accounts because it is so important to make sure that they are not going to get taken advantage of or that their account isn't going to get hacked into. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when we talk about profile setup is the choice between having a business or a personal account. This really depends on who you are and what you're doing. If you are a business owner, if you have an LLC, an S Corp, if you have something along those lines, you need to have a business account. If you are selling products or services in any way, shape, or form, you need to have a business account. having a business account not only gives you a lot more access in the sense of analytics and really understanding your social media platform, but it also has things in there to keep you safe, like commercial licensing and other things along those lines. I can't tell you how many times I will see a small business owner have their page or their post or their content taken down because they broke commercial music or copyright laws in some way, shape, or form. So make sure that if you are a business owner, you are setting your profile up as a business. Now, influencers, this is a little bit different. If you as an influencer have your own business and you are making money off of social media in some way, shape, or form, then you should have a business account. You should not be having a personal account. If you are just on there vlogging, having fun, not making money from brands or anything like that, and you're just out there trying to have a creative outlet, then having a personal account is absolutely fine. It's when we start to blur the lines of making money that it becomes an issue when we start to talk about the account types and what it is that you should be signing your profile up as. So this is your reminder. If you're a business owner and you have a personal or even a professional account on things like Instagram, please take this time right now to go and switch over to a business account. It just keeps you safe in the long run. I know it can be really limiting in song choices and stuff like that, but in the long run, to not be hit with any issues, it is so important. So that's my little caveat for this video. I always have one. So the first place that we want to be just checking in with, like we talked about, is that username and profile photo, right? As you can see here, TTS Marketing Agency is our handle on Instagram as well as on TikTok. And our profile photo matches across. We have a lot of the same information in our bios, right? So visually, our profiles look the same, and you would be able to recognize that these are the same company that are being featured on these profiles. First thing that we want to figure out is your social media ranking on the first or second page of Google based on the SEO capabilities inside of the social media platforms? So we want to first start out by making sure that our platforms are optimized for search engine, which of course we will be touching on next week. And we'll be infusing those keywords into things like our name line, our bio, and even our content like on-screen captions, descriptions, things of that nature. We also want to make sure that our website is linked on all of our social media platforms, as that too can be a great way for Google to make the connection between your social media platforms and your website as well. So how can we find out where you're ranking on Google and if your social media platforms are needing to be optimized with keyword research? So the first thing we want to do is we want to open up Google. We want to type in a certain combination of words. So the first thing we want to do is we want to type in your business name only. And you want to see what comes up on that first page of Google. Is your website coming up? It should. Are your social media pages coming up? It should. If those are not coming up on your first page of Google, figure out what is and how we can see how those are ranking higher than your social media platforms or anything else that you want to be ranking higher, like your website. So we want to start by doing the business name only because we want to have an understanding of where your business is ranking on Google. From there, you can do different combinations like your business name and location. So if you're in a very saturated industry like real estate or mortgages or something like that, then adding your location or your industry to your business name makes sense to try and make sure and see how you're ranking in those specifications as well. Now, if you are more of an influencer or a realtor who's just using their first and last name instead of really associating with a brokerage, then you'll want to go through and type in your first and last name first, see what that comes up with, and then go into the combinations of your first and last name with your location, your first and last name with your industry. Now, once you've run all those different versions of search, depending on which side of the business owner spectrum you're on, you're going to then record your findings. Where are you ranking on these pages? Where's your social media ranking on these pages? And if there are articles or anything like that that have been written about you that are ranking higher, what are the keywords and things inside of those articles that are making it rank higher for you? P.S. At that point, you can tap into something like ChatGPT to be able to help you. Make sure you're prompting it correctly though. So if you are finding that your business page, your website, or your social media is going beyond the first page of Google, here are some steps that you can be able to take. So obviously first, I'm going to recommend optimizing your website and your social media efforts and your profiles. We will talk about that next week. I know I keep referencing that. I'm so sorry, but I promise it will be here sooner than you think. And then the other thing you want to do is check your social media settings. A lot of times in the platforms, there are ways to suppress your page. And if you're somebody who has a private Facebook account or has privacy settings turned on very high inside of Facebook, you might actually be suppressing views on your Facebook page. So you want to check in with that and just make sure that you're not shooting yourself in the foot in the sense with your own SEO efforts. So the next step that we're going to be looking at is auditing your content. So now we've audited your profile, we've audited your SEO standings, and now we're going to take a look at auditing your content. So the first thing I want you to do is review your latest posts. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can either go onto your page and sort your content by popularity, by views, any of these things. Or you can go into the analytics of your page and be able to pull most likes, most views, most reach, whatever it is that you're trying to measure. Go back to those SMART goals, figure out what you're measuring inside of there, and be able to go back into those auditing side of things and look at what content is doing well for you. What is it that's making that content resonate with your ideal client? Are you being entertaining and being funny and they're seeing you as a real person? Are you bringing value into their life and really bringing home some things that they might not have even thought about, or digging deeper in concepts that your colleagues are just being very surface level at because they want them to buy their products and services? What is making that content do well? And how can we be able to keep replicating this, right? When we're looking at our content, we also want to see how consistent our social media efforts have been in the past. Consistency is key. Nobody is asking you to show up every single day, 3 times a day. And if they are, they're asking you to be a content creator, and we should reevaluate that situation for yourself. But consistency is key, right? But just remember that you set that consistency level. It's not that Instagram tells you how often you should be posting. It's that you've been posting in a certain way that lets Instagram know that it should expect you to be showing up. So I always recommend starting low and slow and building up to a higher content output strategy. And again, the repurposing of content, it can be very easy to show up on multiple platforms with little to no effort, especially with all the AI softwares out there these days. It can just be kind of a snap of a finger type thing. So the other thing that we want to be auditing with our content is our messaging clear? Is our products and services being accurately spoken about? Is the value for our ideal client tangible and there and able for them to, again, go off and have those quick actionable wins? Every piece of content that you put out should have value in it for your ideal client, no matter what it is that you're talking about. Even promotional content should have value for your ideal client, in that the product or service that you're trying to get them to buy is going to change their life in some way. Whether it's making them organized, it's saving them time, it's giving them more money, whatever the benefit is, it's got to be there for them to be able to come in and want to purchase the product, right? So again, just making sure that that brand message is very, very clear. And when we get into the content strategy in a couple videos from now, we will actually be outlining things like core topics and subtopics that will allow you to get super clear on your brand message as well. So if you're feeling like, oh, my messaging isn't really clear, stay with the series. I promise we are going to walk you through it here. That is all we have this week on auditing your social media profiles. Start out by taking a look at your social media profile itself. Is everything looking good and clear and visible? Head over to Google, do some Google searches for yourself, and then come back into the platform and let's take a little peek at the content and see how we can tweak it and optimize it next week just to make it that much better. If you have any questions about auditing your social media profiles, I would love to be able to help you. Please ask your questions in the comment section below. I would love to be able to answer them, and who knows, maybe I'll make a video all around your question. Bye guys, have a great week.